Ooh.
Between Fortnite and you, one it gotta go. So you need to disappear cause I'm playing with my bro. I don't know why you confused cause you already know. You thought I was choosing you, girl, your ass is really slow. Yes, I am addicted, I've been playing 20 hours. It's been about 3 days and my ass ain't even showered. Girl, I don't even care if you think that I'm a coward. I don't got no time to talk, I gotta land and tilt the towers. Playing Fortnite so I'm barely on my phone. You know I'm playing squads and you know I'm on the zone. Why you telling me you mad? Why you telling me you blown? I didn't text you back, that mean leave my ass alone. I'm playing all day and I'm playing to the morning. You say the same thing, does it ever get boring? I can't text back cause my team need my support. I didn't text you back cause your ass is not important. Where we leaving? Greasy Grove? Roger that.
Skip. I'll put it over here.
Welcome back to Fool Us. Pen and Teller have been duped once already. Let's see if we can mess with them again.
Is anybody
Here
sick?
comes our next fooler.
I'm sick, man.
私はスティーブ・マーシャルと申します。はじめまして。どうぞよろしくお願いします。
What guy speaking
Well,
Japanese?
basically,
Holy
my college years, I was traveling, living on a circus train. I really learned how to juggle in clown college, and I still juggle in my show all
Oh,
the
that's
time.
fake.
I decided to move to Japan, and I expected to be there 2 years, and it's been 19 years now.
That's how I learned
Almost
Japanese.
30 years ago, I saw this thing called dice stacking. There was this man named Jim Zachary, and I was just blown away. Jim and I became good friends over the years, and he taught me.
Interesting.
I spent many nights at his dining room table, stacking dice, right? My performance tonight has become a tribute to him, this amazing genius who really popularized this art.
Interesting.
From Florida via Japan.
Everybody know I'm sick right
he
now.
needs a new travel agent.
Everybody.
Here is Steve Marshall.
Got a headache, snot nose. Sorry about that sniffling.
Hi, I'm Steve, and I have a problem. Well, it's not really a problem. It's more like an obsession. See, ever since I was a kid,
What?
I've been fascinated by dice. Dice magic, dice tricks, dice games, diced ham. You get the picture. As a matter of fact, one of my fondest memories as a kid was playing a dice game out in the schoolyard.
Huh.
It was a simple game. 4 dice and a dice cup. We'd shake it up, roll out the dice, and add up the total that was showing on the tops of the dice. Whoever had the lowest score was the winner. Sometimes we'd even bet our lunch money. On days like these, I usually went hungry. That's because there was this one kid, Raymond. And Raymond was, how can I put this nicely? Raymond was a dirty, rotten, filthy cheater. See, when we rolled the dice, we'd roll them like that. But Raymond would turn the cup upside down and shake them like this. We thought that was cool. But what we didn't know was that Raymond was actually stacking the dice up so we could only see the number on the top. And he would always win. Well, I had a talk with Raymond. Turned out this was a thing called dice stacking. Who knew it was a thing? Now, one time, he decided to show off. And he asked me a question. I'm going to let somebody else help out today. Sir, right here with a beard, name a color, quick. Green? Raymond's favorite color was blue, but you were so close. See? But he gave him a different color die. And he would stack them up like this. Now, this is position 1, this is number 2, this is position 3, and number 4. Which position would you like the blue die to be in? 1, 2, 3, or 4? 2. 2. The most difficult position of all. Number 2. He would actually show off by raising the cup in the air. Call the number on top. Oh, thank you. No, it's okay. Number 2, watch. Watch. In the air. Watch. Not only is it number 2, but the number 6 is the top number. Watch. Position 2, and the number 6 is on
Oh, it doesn't
top.
go from top
and
to
that
bottom
was my
on the top.
introduction to dice stacking. Thank you. Well, that was the way Raymond did it. But I wanted to learn myself how to do it. So I ran right home, and
God, it's
I
cool.
didn't have a
One
fancy
Piece.
dice
Oh, shit.
cup. I
Got
didn't
that
have some
updates.
fancy dice. All I had was a juice can. And I cut the bottom out of the can. You can do this yourself at home. Drink the juice first. Trust me on this one. And I only had 2 dice in a game. So what I did was I cut the dice in half. And this gave me
What?
these little tiny half dice
What in
pieces.
the world?
Now what was good about that was that they would stack up lower, giving me a smaller, lower center of gravity. This made things much easier to practice.
How?
Now, it's all in the wrist.
It's weird.
Now, stacking dice is a lot like falling off a building. It's not the speed that gets you, it's that sudden stop at the end. The nice thing about this was there's a hole in the top of the can, so you can check to make sure they're stacked up. Remember I told you that was the easy way to stack them, the small way. Who knew that it would also be the most difficult way to stack them? 4 dice stacked on edge. No magnets, just 4 dice. Well, this is when the obsession really kicked in. You see, I needed more dice. I needed a bigger cup. 9 dice. Count with me, please. Here we go. 1, 2.
Let's see.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The incredible 9 dice.
Okay.
Oh, Jack, thank you. Well,
It's pretty good.
I gotta tell you, the hard part isn't really stacking the dice. The hard part is getting them in the cups with these big dice in there.
Oh.
This lemon in there, and this, and wait a second. Oh, I forgot to tell you, you also need this. Not to stack dice, because you should never stack dice in a clear cup. You need this to pour the juice out of the can.
Oh.
And say, cheers. Thank you.
I've been thinking the whole crowd is in with it. I gotta go there and see myself.
Where did you come up with that?
I saw this a long time ago. It's an old etch, it's an old art, dice stacking. But when I first saw it, it was of a guy named Jim Zachary. And Jim was the first man to actually create an entire act out of dice stacking. And I was fortunate enough to become friends with him, and he actually taught me this act. So he actually made this cup. He made the half dice. The half dice was his idea. And unfortunately, right before I left Japan to come here, Jim passed away. So tonight became kind of a tribute to Jim. So Jim Zachary was the original dice stacking guy. Yeah, so thanks.
So sad.
All right, well, let's go to the boys.
Okay.
Boys.
I love this. I love this so much. You know, I started out as a juggler.
Right.
And I love juggling. And I first saw dice stacking done by Eddie Fechter at the Forks Motel, Buffalo.
Right.
And I immediately bought his books on dice stacking, which are not the first books written on it, but I loved them, and I got the dice cup, and I got the dice, and I worked for so much longer than I want to admit for how little I'm able to do. So I think of everybody in here, someone who worked on it as much as everybody else loved it, I loved it even more. That stuff's really hard and really beautiful, and I find it so aesthetically pleasing. And I also love that for a lot of this, it's juggling masquerading as magic.
This is all
we see
Boku no
guys
Hero
all the time
Academia.
who are card mechanics. It's really nice to see a dice stacking mechanic and just laid
that?
out there as juggling. And the cups and balls ending for the final
Good
loads
angle.
at the end is a
Look
really,
at that.
really nice
What
touch.
in the world?
But for me, all you need was the dice stacking, but that part of
What is
it
going on
is
here?
juggling, and I loved it, but I don't think you fooled us.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks. Been great to meet you.
So, do you know that they...
Oh my god.
We'll do that. So,
Well, it was so entertaining. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
thanks,
Steve
guys.
Marshall.
But this episode was good. Don't worry about the pink wall.
That may
Sorry
be enough
for the
fantastic
distraction.
illusions for some other TV shows, but not here. We've got one more for you. A trick by the legends themselves, Pen and Teller.
Let's see. Oh, they're not gonna show it? Alright. Woo, that was weird. Alright, I'm done.